Valgas lupas šis tikai viņam tumsā pretījādams, tevi meklēs gars vēl mans.
Well, there it is, Freedom Monument.
This is Freedom Monument. The monument symbolizes the idea of independence. It was paid for by the public donations, and its monument was designed by Carlos Zal and was revealed to the public in 1935. At the foot are the words in Latvian, fatherland and freedom. It consists of 56 sculptures arranged into 13 sculptural groups on 4 levels, each level depicting Latvian history and culture. At the top of the statue is a 9-meter-high image of freedom, a young woman with 3 gilded stars in her arms, symbolizing the unity of the 3 cultural and historical regions of Latvia.
This monument means so much to the Latvian people as they come out here to this square, to this open circle. So as they come out here and they sing, they dance, they come out here annually to help commemorate and celebrate their freedom from the Soviet Union. This is pretty cool. Just outside of Old Riga and well, just beside the Freedom Monument runs this canal, this little like river, and if you see, it kind of cuts right through along the main road through Riga and kind of separates, well, this district off to my right of Riga, and then Old Riga is just beyond those trees where we just came from. But you could take one of these old boats and stroll down this little river canal. You can see it's a really beautiful park, and we have exceptional weather. It is 7 o'clock at night and the sun is blazing away, and just a really nice, peaceful, serene little area. I'm not going to spend too much time at this park because we got a lot of other cool things we got to go check out, but you know, if you make it to Riga, you'll definitely come to Freedom Monument, and I suggest, you know, blocking out a little time to kind of walk through this little park and spend some time alongside this canal. I mean, Old Riga is so cool. If you just look down each little street, you'll see peaks of churches popping out. If you look down here, down this street right here, we see some kind of medieval church or some kind of medieval castle. And well, let's get a little bit closer. And it's just right here in basic downtown Old Riga. Another really cool thing about Old Riga is, well, it's small enough and pedestrian friendly where you just get here and you can just walk around, spend a few hours. You don't really need transportation in terms of like a subway or a bus system. You can basically cover Old Riga, all points around it, in between it, circling it around in about 2 hours. So it's not a huge place, but wow, there is a lot of charm and a lot of majestic kind of old buildings and just interesting, cool old Europe town. Just in the middle of the road is this really cool castle tower. Really interesting when we look at this castle tower, the way that the windows are positioned. They're probably put in a certain way for a certain reason, but just looking at this tube, it just looks like there's windows that are placed along the tube and they have no rhyme or reason, no method to their madness. But whoever designed it, whoever was the architect, I'm sure there's a reason why. If you know why, throw it down in the comments below. But just really cool when we look at it and we see all these little windows, and well, they're just kind of all over the place. All right, so here I am next to that castle tower looking thing, and what this is the Latvian Museum of War. So, well, we can't go inside because it's kind of late and the doors are closed, but outside you can take a look at this kind of historical timeline that dates all the historical moments of Latvian history on the road to freedom from 1917 until 1921. But just a really cool, epic old building. Love the red bricks. Love the style of the door right here, the way that the frame is carved out of stone. And yeah, you can just feel this old traditional tower is something special here to the people of Riga. Let's go check out down here. This is a pretty cool restaurant row. Yeah, just walking through the city of Old Riga. I love the blend of old and new. You got these old traditional historic buildings, and then inside is a modern clothes shop, or you know, down the street is a restaurant. But check this one out. This is a really cool building. This old, and it's that light blue that just really pops against other colors here in the sun. And then they got this little door down here. I'm not really sure what that is. That's probably their basement door, so that they can bring goods in and out of the building. There's probably an elevator in there, but just a lot of cool stuff hanging out, walking around here. Another cool thing about Old Riga is just the way that light kind of comes into the city. As you can see, I'm in the shadows and the buildings are tall and you're surrounded by, well, they're almost like Lego type buildings. Then if we look down here, the sun cracks through and just shines on about 6 or 7 different buildings. And that's the architecture allowing the city to get a little sunlight, as some of the buildings are taller, some of the buildings are shorter, some of the buildings are just, well, they're just designed differently. And it's really cool how each little building is designed a little bit different. The structure is different, the height is different, and it allows the sun to kind of seep in differently and bring its ray of light and shine upon the different parts of the city. All right, so I want to point something out. Check out this building. You're going to see a lot of these buildings here in Riga. They're really cool because if we look at it, it's like the front part of the building and the facade of it is just straight up, and then it's got a little bit of design on each side. But then about halfway on its way to the peak, you see the A-frame awning, and it cuts itself off, so it's not squared off like the rest of the buildings, and it's just added into there and plopped up there, squeezed in there, jammed in there between all these other buildings, and it just gives it a really cool effect. And I really like this style of architecture that is, well, you're going to see it all over Riga. Yep, and then we take another turn down another really cool street, a little side street, and we're kind of in the main square of Old Riga. If we look right here, you can see where it kind of opens up to a giant like square or circle, and there's lots of restaurants, there's lots of cafes, and they got tables and areas that you can sit down and kind of just enjoy a meal or a coffee or a beer. And then around them you're going to see some other tents and things like that, and it's kind of like their local flea market that they put out here, as you can go ahead and you can find little bits of bric-a-brac or Latvian gifts and souvenirs and stuff like that. So just a really cool atmosphere. One thing that I will say that I'd like to point out, you can hear people singing all throughout the city, whether it's on a speaker or they're on the side of the street singing through these little narrow streets, and it's echoing throughout the city, and it's really quite peaceful. All right, so I'm on the main drag in Old Town Riga, and I just happened to walk upon this thing. I mean, look at this thing. It's like a freaking castle straight out of Disney. Let's get a bit closer. I mean, just the architecture, it's really weird. I mean, it really looks like it should be in some type of amusement park and some kind of medieval fairy tale. And it's just really cool, and you can see the architecture is like none that you've ever seen before. There's all kinds of like bullet-shaped arches, and well, the indents on each little barrier that's crossing through the middle is really neat. The detail to the little pieces amongst the molding, really fantastic stuff here. And check out that little watchtower, man. I feel like somebody with really long yellow hair, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw your hair down. Like, it's just, there's no words for how beautiful this is. I mean, around every corner there's more exciting, cool things to look at. And as I walk down this street, I can't help but think of the history of this place, of what it was like 100, 200, 300 years ago, when up and down these roads, horses and carriages were the only form of transportation. And there wasn't tourists out here, just kind of moseying around out here. And well, when these lights were really gas lamp lights, and they kept the street lit, and the activity that goes with a city like this is really kind of inspiring and interesting. If you just come out here and you take it all in, and you'll get the feel of that historic town here in Old Town Riga. Well, there is tons of restaurants here in Old Town Riga. And if you're wondering, what does Latvian food taste like? I'll go ahead and throw a card up there right now. You can check out when I visited an authentic Latvian food restaurant. But if you don't want to try anything new, and you're not adventurous when it comes to eating, and you just want to stick to your traditional American cuisine, don't worry, they got you covered. There's TGIF. Really cool. Check out this building. Look how many windows are on this one building. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, got 3 more, and then 5. So a total of 9 windows just on that little portion of the front part of the building. Yeah, and then you walk down the main canal part of Old Town Riga, and that little clock tower, watchtower type thing that's been poking its head out belongs to this behemoth church right here. Check this thing out. Wow, massive, all stone. Check out the windows, beautifully done. Let's get a little bit closer and check it out. So walking up next to this church is really cool because, well, if you look at the top, you can see these bricks, and they're old, and they're kind of, the corners are edged out, and you can just see how they're a little bit darker. And then we look over here where it changes, and maybe this is the part that they restored throughout the years. For whatever reason, there's a whole section right underneath this window, and maybe that's the reason it was restored, is because of that window. By checking out the difference in the brick, you can definitely make a honest distinction right here. See that dividing line right there? That kind of shows you where they've restored, and then you have the traditional, probably the first brick that they ever laid on this church. Look at this unbelievable, old, amazing church right in the middle square of Old Riga. Well, that's gonna do it for us today on this episode of Travel Man Dan. Man, it was fantastic. I hope you enjoyed this video as I cruised around Old Riga and showed you parts of this city that are absolutely stunning. I hope you saw some really cool and interesting things. I hope you learned something new about Riga and Latvia. And most of all, I hope you were inspired to get your ass out here to Latvia and check it out for yourself. If you like what I'm doing and you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button, ring the bell, give me a like, put a comment down below, let me know if you've ever been here or where you think I should go next. I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks again for watching. I'm Travel Man Dan, and remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it. And people are enjoying the Travel Man Dan. All right, thanks a lot.